with 48 hours to kind of reflect on the season, how it ended. Like, where's your mind right now?
Obviously, it sucks to not accomplish everything you want to accomplish. But I mean, realistically, I think any football team could win a game without a quarterback. So, we got dealt a crazy deck of cards on Sunday. A crazy hand on Sunday, and it sucks. I just think this team worked way too hard. And you hate to see it end that way.
I know, obviously, the frustration at the end of the game is that, how do you look on that about just the way things were going and how the season ended for you personally?
That was just a very brief time during the whole process. I haven't thought much about it since then, honestly. But it's whatever. We compete, tempers flare, things happen. Never really thought about it since then.
Trent, you guys obviously went through multiple quarterbacks this year, had success with pretty much all of them. How do you view the quarterback situation for this team moving forward?
I don't know. That honestly ain't even up to me to view or to make a decision on. Kyle and John, we put our trust in them every offseason, and they, seem to come through. So that's what we're going to do again.
How difficult is it just emotionally to get so close to the goal, to getting the Super Bowl, to winning the Super Bowl the last couple of years and just come up just short?
Yeah, it sucks. Like you said, you put a lot into this. You can't halftime football, playing football. So, a lot of us dedicate our whole life to this. So, with the objective being to win a Super Bowl once, twice, multiple times. So, anytime you don't accomplish that, it's always disappointing.
What's something maybe you learned about this team this year, the 12-game winning streak? You didn't lose for more than 3 months, and then how you guys battle back through different quarterback situations. What did you learn about this team?
I think, I wouldn't say learned, but I think it confirmed that, the talent that we have on the roster from top to bottom, the way that this team comes out and compete, the brand of ball that we play, we know that it's conducive to winning. And, we know that we're a resilient bunch, and that we've been through a lot, and no different than any other team. But we rolled with the punches, and we did what we could do. And like you said, we ripped off 12 games in a row, which is hard to do in this league. So, I'm super proud of this team about the season that we had. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish it the way we wanted to. But when you look at it in this totality, we don't have anything to hold our head about.
The team will be different next year, obviously, because it usually is. Some of the guys afterwards were referencing guys like Joe Staley and him retiring afterwards. You're still at the top of your game, but you are at an age where sometimes guys think about that. You're not thinking about retiring, are you?
No, I mean, it's a long season,
Yeah.
And having 2 long seasons back to back, it does get pretty grueling for a 34-year-old guy like myself. I'll be 35 when the season starts. You do kind of think about what's life look like after football. Because I've done this every year of my life since the 2nd grade. So. You do get to that age where, especially after ending a year like this and it being as exhausting as it was, and still not getting quite where you want to be. I get it. You get to that age, but honestly, I'm just taking it one day at a time, and we'll see how that goes going forward.
Do you have a feeling like how much longer you can play at this high of a level?
I don't. I think it's all about what I can do during the off season. Sticking to my regimen, sticking to the blueprint, and trying to study myself, figure out ways to get better, figure out anything that I can see on film or anything. That's pretty much what I use this time for. But I'm just taking it one day at a time. I really ain't there ain't a lot of future to look forward to. So I might as well live in the present, right? So I'm just really just taking it one day at a time.
Trent, I sense you wanted another question about this boot and crutches, but obviously that's not something that would linger into training camp.
No, it's probably won't even linger for the next 48 hours. I should be good. Like it's very minor.
Gotcha.
Trent McGlinchey's been your bookend since the time you got here. How have you seen him grow, and how much would you like to, see him come back, or even just, get what he's got coming to him in free agency?
Yeah, I mean, selfishly, I would definitely want to see him come back. But as a friend, as a older brother or older mentor to Mike, older teammate, whatever you want to call it, I definitely want to see him get what he deserves. So, I understand the business. If what he deserves outprices himself for this locker room, then it sucks, but he deserves it, and this is a violent game, and it's a double-edged sword to take a discount just to be somewhere where you like it. So honestly, to answer your question about how he's developed, I think he's done a tremendous job. I think he's from the time I stepped in his locker room to now, I think it's night and day what kind of player he's developed into and what type of player he's become. I'm happy for him that you get to this point in your career where you can be a free agent and you're able to see your value and see what your work translate into on the open market. And I'm happy for him to enjoy this process. But to answer your question, I would love to see him come back in his locker room. I hope we can do whatever we can to keep him. And but if we can't, I'm happy for him. I love him. I want to see the best for him.
Trent, as reporters, we haven't seen Kyle that kind of openly emotional after a loss. Was that the same experience for you guys?
Yeah. Like I said, it's easy to accept the loss when you go out there, you do the best you can, and it just falls short. And the better team wins that day. But when you don't feel like you ever got a chance to get past the start line, under fair circumstances, that one was just a little harder to accept, just because we put so much into it. You work so hard to get here. You actually want to see that work play out on Sunday, and being an unfortunate situation we was put in, we weren't able to do that. So I think that's the part that hurts the most.
Take two more, guys.
Well, you mentioned you've been playing football since age 7.
No, I said since second grade.
Okay.
7
or 8 years old.
Yeah.
So like 25 years. Is it getting harder and harder to get up and get that same excitement level as over these last quarter of a century?
Yeah, honestly, I'd be lying if I said it didn't. Yeah, it does. I mean, it isn't hard to get up for an NFC championship or or playoffs or anything like that. But yeah, the day-to-day grind. I mean, it does get pretty redundant doing it for a long time. But I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be able to play this game for as long as I have, and and whatever God has in the future for me, I know I'll have it. But to answer your question, yeah, it does get a little. It's like a rerun almost.
Yeah, Trent, Colton McKivitz stepped in for you late last season for a game. If he's called on to be a starter, what could we expect? What can the team expect from him as a starter if he's put in that role?
Yeah, I think from the reason that he was in that position to be put in the starting game for anybody is just symbolizes how hard he's worked and to get to this position. It wasn't like he was a first, second round draft pick or anybody. He wasn't designated a roster spot. He worked his butt off. I think he put in the type of work and he made the type of leaps and bounds that everybody recognizes, not just your offensive line mates or your offensive line coach. But I think everybody seen the jump that he's made, seen how good of a player he is and how good of a player he will be. So we have full faith in Colton. May that be the case, and Jalen as well. Both of those guys got a very high ceiling, and the more ball they play, the better they're going to become, especially with experience. All right, appreciate it, guys.